Eleven has got a strange sort of personality, you know? She's very unpredictable. She's a 12-year-old girl with telekinesis and has been kept in a facility with some weird guys and been experimented on.
Hey, you found my supercom. Pretty cool, huh? I talked to my friends with it. Mostly Lucas, because he lives so close. Signal's pretty weak. When I first started acting, I was like the shyest person on earth, and then I got through, and I just kept doing it, and I kept getting less and less shy. She's a weapon! Do you seriously want to fight the Demogorgon with your wrist rocket? That's like R2-D2 going to fight Darth Vader. We're no use to Whale if we're dead. So I think now it's a lot less like energy pulling, because I know what I'm doing now, and it's not like skeptical or anything.
Are you out of your mind?
Just listen to me.
You are out of your mind.
She knows about Will.
What do you mean she knows about Will?
I've done a few like Law and Order. Oh. I did a show called Show Me a Hero. Forever on ABC. Unforgettable. 2020, What Would You Do?
Dude, we're gonna go on forever.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
That's
So long. Yeah.
Heath Kit ham check. Ain't she a beaut?
I bet you could talk to New York on this thing.
Think bigger.
California?
Bigger.
Australia?
Oh man! When Will sees this, he's totally gonna blow his shit.
Lucas.
We wrote one episode, and then we made a little like lookbook of what it might look like, and we developed very roughly like a 20-minute pitch.
And then we had like a 2-minute teaser thing that was just a compilation of. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street and E.T. and everything that
Jaws, and we just sort of put it all
Close
together.
Encounters, and like there's like 30 movies that we loved that we kind of mashed to kind of represent what we wanted to show.
Oh, you just edit movies?
We edited a bunch of them together, so it would cut from like E.T. to Close Encounters to
and it felt like
Halloween to whatever.
We were just relieved that it was going, because you put like when we put like John Carpenter music on E.T. and we're like, this is so awesome.
That's sweet. And then it was like, oh, that's the show. It's like, oh, John Carpenter music on top of like a Spielberg shot. So you're like, oh, this is gonna work, I think. And then so we did that, and then Netflix liked that, and we pitched, and we were terrified, but they wanted it, so that was good.
How did you prepare for your part? Did you watch any 80s movies?
Oh yeah. Well, I've already grown up like watching like Ferris Bueller and all those movies, and they all like mash into one. Like this whole show is it's like they call it like a love letter to or an homage to like all 80s movies, and like because the Duffers, who are the directors and creators of the show, they grew up in the 80s, so they wanted to make it. They love all 80s movies, so they wanted to make it as real as possible.
We spent a lot of time going to estate sales, which is when a person passes away and they don't have family to manage their belongings. It's really sad, actually, but you go into their house and everything is just for sale. And in a lot of cases, you're like just walking into a time capsule. So we spent a lot of time walking into just homes that hadn't changed since the 60s and 70s and 80s, and we just bought everything, you know. And from there we had this big, incredible stock of very real, very lived in sort of period pieces, and we just sort of hand pick and choose. I mean, that's you know why this set feels so real, because the reality is that all this stuff really did earn its age by being lived in, you know.
Cool.
How much further?
I don't know. These only tell direction, not distance. You really need to learn more about compasses.
I'm just saying, how do we know when we get to the gate?
They told me to watch Stand By Me, and they told me to see how the group and like the boys, the group, the boys, how they got along and how they're interacting with each other.
It's a very similar connection.
Yeah, very similar connection, yep.
The camaraderie, right?
Huh?
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
And the personalities of the kids are very similar to the personalities.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Like, you can look at the kids in that movie and be like, okay, so this kid's like that kid's like that kid. It's really easy to...
Yeah, yep.
None of it was that difficult to find. There were things like the bicycles, because sometimes we use stunt riders or different things. Like I said before, I need multiples of things.
Sure.
So I couldn't go and buy old bikes that might not work or might break. So we bought all new bikes and then doctored them all up. They've all been individually painted, and we bought handle things that were period and the lamps that were period, and we put all those together and then did things like this with the tape and the aging. This is Dustin's bike, and we sort of did a half paint job, like he was going to paint it but he didn't quite finish. Those kind of little character things that you do. And then with like this bike, we bought the banana seat and added it so that we created the look of period bikes using new bikes that I could do multiples of.
Yeah, sure.
I will see you tonight.
Yeah, see you later.
Where's Will?
Oh, I didn't get him up yet. He's probably still sleeping.
Jonathan, you have to make sure he's up.
Mom, I'm making breakfast.
This exterior matches our practical location, our exterior location, which is out south in the boonies. We basically, to create this, we had a photographer who does this specifically stand on the front porch of the location and take, a 180 photo. So this is actually what you would see out the windows of the house that we used for the exterior. When we're inside and it's raining in the outside world, part of the script takes place during a rainstorm. The way our special effects team achieves the feeling of the rain through the windows is they have to set up these little rain bars here. So while they're shooting inside, we've just got rain steadily drizzling on the windows, and then just lighting effects of lightning and etc. So yeah, we've got a great special effects coordinator, Caius Mann, who handles all that stuff. So.
Find Will! Find Will! Where is he then? Huh? I don't see him. Yeah, you know what I mean. No, I actually don't. Just think about it, Mike. She could have just told us where the upside down was right away, but she didn't.
My favorite scene is when I was flown back into the air. I had a harness, but it was very small, so they couldn't see in my jacket. And they actually had me on like this mat, and they would fling me back, slam me back onto this mat. I did my own stunts.
I didn't have any stunts. Yet. The best scene I got to film, probably the scene where I got the knife up to my throat. Yeah, that was fun, right by the big cliff. Like, we got to stand over by the edge of quarry, and like you look down, it's like almost like a mile deep down. You really see water. It's awesome.
That sound. Boom. Boom. Ow! That didn't come from the troglodytes, no. That came from something else.
There's a couple scenes. There's a scene in the first episode at the very beginning where we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is like a board game.
We've been in the set.
Yeah? Oh, okay, yeah, it's pretty great, right?
We were really lucky with the books. Again, you know, I have to create so much stuff. And the character books I wanted to do, and I did the drawings and everything on the front, but our art director, Bill, came in one day with a box and put it on my desk and said, this was my Dungeons and Dragons character book when I was that age. So I took his book and we basically like replicated all the pages and all the notes and all the character things from his book and created our boys' books. And then found all the original, they don't do them anymore, but all the little figurines are lead, which you can't have anymore. And we had them all individually painted. So Lucas is the knight, Will is the wizard, Dustin is the dwarf, and Mike is the dungeon master, so he's in charge and stuff.
Before Christmas, I sort of didn't really know what a record player was. And so I was in the basement with the boys and I was like, what is that? There was a weird circle, thing, and I was like, it looks like it plays music. And we were trying it out. It was so much fun. And for Christmas, I got one, and I love it. And it's the best. Like these props. I mean, just these little things, the sewing machine, and we was pretending that in season 2 that Eleven's just sitting there sewing. And it's just like the little things that sort of. It's amazing. You're in this whole nother world, and it's so interesting.
He takes work going home, and now he's gone.
Okay. One at a time, all right? You said he takes what?
Mirkwood.
Mirkwood.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Mirkwood?
I have not. That sounds made up to me.
No, it's from Lord of the Rings.
Well, The Hobbit.
It doesn't matter.
And it was important to us that the kids talked like kids, that they're not, like, when you see 12-year-olds in shows, it's like a Disney show, and we wanted them to actually be like kids.
There are 22 shits in Goonies. Like, I've done all the counting, because you have to explain to Netflix why it's important. It's like, they have to say shit, and, they have to curse. They sound like real kids.
Oh, God. It gets me every time. Assholes.
I think it's kind of cool. It's like we have superpowers or something.
I hope, though, it appeals to kids, but it appeals to people like us who grew up on those movies and like to watch kids go on adventures. And then we have the more adult storylines and the teen storyline. And the teen storyline is almost more like this sort of John Carpenter.
Yeah. It's almost like those three, and that's why that video we did sort of were relieved when it works. It's almost like three. It's like the adults are in this sort of Spielbergian world where it's like they're discovering that there's this extraordinary stuff going on around them, and then the kids are in that sort of Goonies adventure, and then the teens are in that sort of like classic teen horror thing, like
a little Wes Craven or John Carpenter, and then you kind of merge them, like, so that's kind of what we're trying to do. Great.
We were trying to do something very sort of symmetrical and Kubrickian and weird. And it's based on actual underground tunnels at the facility that we're shooting at. So we took our cues from that. And yeah, this is where the nether kind of breaches our world. And as a result of experiments that are going on in this laboratory, which leads to all of the mayhem that happens in the course of the series.
the set is terrifying. Like there's a opening scene where the monster is chasing after this guy in the hall, and he's like sliding. It's like that actually like gave me goosebumps. Like I was like the entire time.
It's always a really challenging thing, though, to wear a creature suit. So our performer is an expert at it. He's well conditioned to undergo the rigors and the stress of wearing a suit like this for hours and hours on end, and then performing, unable to see sometimes, and unable to really feel anything. All of his tactile faculties are lost, really. The hands on the suit are motivated by the actor. That Mark Steger's arms come out through these openings here, and he's wearing either black or green chroma key sleeves, and he operates the movement, the gross movements of the arms like this, while Claire and I operate the finger movement via remote control. These are animatronic fingers that these guys themselves.
This is sort of at the center of what went wrong. This is where our character 11, our test subject, is. She's put in this tank, and it's a sense deprivation tank that amplifies her psychic abilities, and it's something that goes on while she's in this sort of psychic space that causes, she kind of comes in contact with this other dimensional creature, which causes this rift between our world and this other alternate dimension, which is ultimately what unleashes the creature and everything else that goes awry.
We heard you had a really, really intense scene. We had to be in water at the lab.
Yes.
What was that like?
Well, the first time, I was like, I've got a bit underwater, and I had this bubble around my head. And so I'm sitting there and I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm sitting there like, I can't move, I can't tilt my head up. And, and so I just see Matthew Modine in the glass like that. And it's like, okay, I've got to calm down now. And I have my little earpiece in. And the Duffers, every time I'd come out of there, the Duffers would just be like, hey, Millie, hey, how you doing? And you'd just pass the microphone around, and so I just hear different voices in my ear. That was a great day, though. So much fun, and great people around me to work with, so I was very calm.
But the cool thing about this is that the people here are really nice, and we do it's a lot of adventure, action and stuff, and it's an adventure for me to see what we're gonna do and see how at home when I'm reading the script, I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna do it. And when I get there, I'm like, I was thinking the same exact thing. So that's the fun thing.